I'm going to give you guys a new name for this because Subaru doesn't like station wagon, and it's not really an SUV, so I'm going to call it an SUW, a sport utility wagon. So we're going to take a look at this today, and you tell me, is it the best sport utility wagon that you can buy? Now, like I said, this has a very, very identifiable body shape and body style. You know, like I said, they don't change it much. They don't have to change it much. People love this design, and it is one of my favorites, and it makes it a lot easier for me to identify it when it's coming down the road. But let's talk about what is powering the Outbacks for 2025. The Outback base is going to get a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder that gives you 182 horsepower and 176 pound-feet of torque. You also get about 29 miles per gallon. That engine also is in the Premium, the Onyx, the Limited, and the Touring. But if you decide to get the XT versions of those trim lines, like this one right here, this is the Touring XT, so this is the top of the line, then you get the 2.4 liter turbo 4-cylinder boxer engine that gives you 260 horsepower. That is awesome. You also get a CVT transmission to get you 0 to 60 in 5.8 seconds. That's right, 5.8 seconds out of a Subaru Outback. That is amazing. Your ground clearance, and you can see the ground clearance on this is 8.7 inches. If you need a little bit more ground clearance because you'd like to do a little more off-roading in your Subarus, you can get the Wilderness model, and the Wilderness is going to give you 9.5 inches of ground clearance. Fuel economy is going to be 22 in the city, 29 on the highway, for an average of 25 miles per gallon. Let's take a look at this cargo space back here. Now, as I stated, this is a wagon, so you get a really good amount of space back here. So just here in the back, you're going to get 32.5 cubic feet of space. This one came with the optional cover. You just pull that out, and look, you can even slide it up so it's up out of the way if you want to. Otherwise, you take it all the way to the bottom, you put it back. These are really easy to take out. Okay, so you got this bar back here, you just need to slide it out. It is spring loaded. So once you have that done, then you press this button right here, and this will just come out so you can see how much room you actually have there. Do have a Harman Kardon sub back here. It's not a very big one, but you do have one. And if you look across here, you do have these little bag holders right here that just pop out. That's kind of cool, and it does have a hook right there that's usable. Another one right up here. On both sides, you got a couple down here at the bottom also. So plenty of ways to tie some stuff down back here, maybe for a bike or something like that. So now the second row, to drop the second row, we're just gonna pull a handle right there. Same thing over here, we're just gonna pull that handle, drop some down, and now you are looking at 75.6 cubic feet of space. Huge amount of room in this thing. Really impressive. You definitely could get a mattress back here if you wanted to sleep in your car while you're out camping. If you guys are finding this beneficial to you, hit that like button so that other people can also see this video, and hopefully it'll be beneficial to them. All right, let's go check out the inside now. Another look at the back, and we'll look at the side. As we come up to the front, you can see that it does say Outback right there at the bottom, and I really do like these machine-faced wheels. It looks really good. All right, let's see what's going on inside. Now this does have a nice chocolate brown leather in here. Looks really nice with the black. Do have a pocket down here for a bottle, and it's decent size. You got a Harman Kardon speaker right there, and then you've got all your window and mirror controls right there. Memory seating up on the door. Seats are powered with lumbar, and they're decently comfortable. I'm still having a little problem getting fully comfortable in the seats. They do support really well. I personally am just having a little bit of comfort issues trying to get things lined out. Now this does have a thigh extender, which is pretty cool. Now instead of it being powered like some of them are, you have a handle right up here, and you just got to pull that handle, and when you pull it up, it's going to naturally lift up, and then if you want to put it in, you pull that handle up, and then you have to push it down in. So I like having that feature. That's really nice touch. I also like on the mats down here, it has the brown leather trim around the outside of the mats. It's just the fine little touches that really set something off. It really makes it obvious and that it was intentional. All right, now how about we get inside and we'll look at everything a little bit closer. So I like this chocolate interior. It looks really nice with the black. You've got some soft leather right here. This is a soft rubbery type material up here. You got Joe Rady's Twinkie tray right down here, and then you do have a pretty decent sized glove box, but it's got a giant manual in there, so it's taking up most of the room. Come across here, you do have this nice, looks like a 11 or 12 inch display here, but it is smaller and it's embedded into the dash, which I really, really like. All right, so we've got your driver's display right here. You can see it's analog on the outsides, and you got a little bit of digital in the middle. Doesn't do a whole lot though, but we'll flip through some of the settings so you can kind of see what it does. And it's not going to change anything down here. It's only going to change this little part up here for the most part. You get your time and temperature, stereo, GPS, your compass, tire pressure, and then you do have your auto start stop. Go up, and you do have from the time you started, and then you've got your mile per gallon and how much distance to empty, and then you have your trip information. Like right now we are averaging 28.4 miles per gallon, so that is above the 25 average that we stated earlier, and about 390 miles to go. All right, we come back to the steering wheel, and again, this is my first Subaru, and I'm really glad they sent me this Outback because, I mean, everybody knows an Outback and appreciates an Outback. So on this right side, you have the driver assistance features. This does have adaptive cruise control. You also do have the EyeSight lane centering, so you do have a eye tracker right here, and it will do lane centering. It is not hands-free lane centering, just lane centering. And then down here, you do have your heated steering wheel button. On the left side over here is all of your voice recognition and your stereo and phone settings. And this controls a little digital display up there. All right, we're gonna go move over to this screen. So like I said, I do like that it's integrated into there. The problem that I have right now is this has a plastic cover over it. I mean, you touch stuff and it works, but it has a plastic cover over the top of it, and you can see right now is a pretty good glare. Now the other day we had the sun shining from this side, and it was hitting about right here. It was putting a huge glare on my face. I mean, it was bothering me trying to drive, and you couldn't see anything on the screen. It was just a giant glare and you couldn't see anything. So if you had navigation and you were trying to look at your navigation follow, you wouldn't be able to see it. So that is my only problem with that. So hopefully you can find some type of a anti-glare cover that can go over the top of that. I like that you have a volume button separate from everything else, and you have a tune button over there. And I also down here with your climate controls, you have these buttons are always there. So you always have your climate control buttons showing down at the bottom, and these hot buttons right across here. You can shut your auto start stop off if you want to right there, but you have physical buttons for your temperature also, and your window defoggers. So I like that it has a few physical buttons for some things that are kind of important that you shouldn't be having to try to make sure that you're finding the digital number on. You can just reach up and you know that they're right here and they're actual buttons. So we'll go through this really quick. This is not anything crazy. It works really, really well. In this screen right here, you've got settings. That's gonna go through all of your settings for your car, however you want things to be set up. You go all the way over, and we can go over to the car itself. This is where your EyeSight driver's assistance is, and it's really good. I haven't had any problems with it. You can even set your cruise control acceleration, so when somebody goes in front of you, you can actually accelerate really quickly, or you can accelerate slowly. It's nice that you can adjust that. And then you go back out and you have all of your other driver assistance. So there's a lot of other stuff that you can go through here and change, and it's really nice that it is all here. This does also have the X mode available on it. And if we go up here, now you can see there's some buttons up here that can scroll across. So if we go over, you've got navigation, and then you have a few little things here. So you got your angle, fuel consumption, and your acceleration percentage, the weather, and then you have a quick X mode button right up here. If you have Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, it will also pop up across the top there, and this does have wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. All right, let's go on down here to the hot button. So you've got your car button, so you can just click on that and it's going to bring up this screen that we were looking at earlier, and you shut your auto start stop off right here, or you've got the button right here to shut it off. And this is your home button. So you also have a phone button right here that'll take you to your phone, and then your profile button right there. Down here you do have heated and ventilated seats here in the front, and you have your fan control right there. We go on back here, and I think they need to open this a little bit bigger because I can't get my hand down in there. And really, with this shifter right here, when I was trying to plug in wires, it is really difficult. So maybe they could need to bring this whole section back a little bit, give you a little bit more room. You do have electronic parking brake right here. You have an auxiliary plug-in. You have a USB-C and a USB-A, and they do work very well. All right, we go on back. You do have a couple cup holders right here, and then you have your center armrest. Center armrest is nice and padded. It feels really good on your elbow. It does have a 2-tier system in it, so you have this little bitty tray, which I've got my work badge in, and you flip that up, and then you do have another compartment down here that is a decent amount of room. Not a lot. I actually couldn't fit my safety glasses and its case in there, so that might be something to consider. And look here. You actually have a CD player. How crazy is that? This one also did come with the sunroof, so that is nice. And Subaru also has a sunglass holder. All right, that is all of the front. We're gonna go to the back. I'm gonna see how much room is back there. It's a wagon. There should be plenty of room for a full-size adult back there, but we're gonna check it out so you guys can actually see how much room is back there and what kind of amenities are back there for your passengers. All right, yeah, that is a decent amount of room in there. And like I said, I like this brown. It looks really good with this black. All right, driver's seat is in my driving position, and I still have about probably 3 inches between my knees and the seat, which is really nice. Sitting up straight, and headroom, I again have about 3 inches of headroom in here. So that is really, really good. Very impressive. Seats are pretty comfortable. They're nice and squishy, and I feel like I'm in a good riding position. Now let's look at the accessories that your passengers have here in the back. Okay, same thing on the back here. There is, well, of course, this has my safety glasses in it. I usually keep them in the front door, but I want to show you how big that pocket is up there. But they wouldn't fit in the center console, so they are back here for right now. And there you can see, I like this kind of, I don't know, it's just a plastic, but it's really shiny in the sun. It looks kind of a metallic. It looks really nice. All right, let's go in and see what we have here. So you've got your ventilation. You also have heated seats in the second row of this XT, and you get USB-C and USB-A plugs. This has a double map pocket in the back, which is kind of interesting. I haven't seen that yet before. And then you do have a center armrest right here. You can pull that down. Definitely got 2 cup holders right here. It sits at a good height. It's not angled or anything. It's pretty flat. So that's it. That's the back. Get a quick glance across the front again. Looks nice. It's actually a really, really upscale looking interior. Okay, you can also recline these seats. There is a handle right here behind your seat belt. And if you pull that, you can tilt it up or you can lay it back, just like that. So you do get a little bit of a recline. You can see how far the back that went from the other seat. That's nice. And then if you need to drop the seats from up here, there's a button on top. Just push that button and that will drop your seats down. So the back was actually pretty comfortable. So now I think you guys probably want to know, how much does this cost for 2025? With prices on the rise lately, I think we need to see if this is affordable for your family. I think it will be, but let's check it out and then we'll go take it for a drive. There are technically 9 trims available for the Outback. Basically, you're looking at the base, the premium, the Onyx, the limited, the touring, and the wilderness. Everything except for the base and the premium has an XT version of those trim models, except for the wilderness, because it just gets the XT, which is the boxer engine in it. The base model with the 2.5 4-cylinder engine is going to start at $28,895. If you go up to the wilderness, you're looking at $39,960. This touring XT right here, it starts at $42,795, and this one, as tested with the options and the destination fees, come in at $44,356. So under $45,000, and you have an awesome performing SUW. That's right, said it again, sport utility wagon. All right, guys, let's go take this for a drive. Yeah, this 2.4 liter turbo boxer engine is the way to go if you're looking at getting one of these. We're gonna do a quick launch right here. We'll give it, all right, a little bit of brake torque. 1, 2, 3, here we go. That's good. 60. All right, it said like 5.8 seconds or something like that, didn't it? That was impressive. When's the last time you saw a Subaru go that fast and it wasn't like a WRX or a BRZ or something like that? I mean, that's impressive. So this does have the same engine as the WRX. So if you were always buying a WRX because you wanted that better performance, now you can get a wagon with that same performance. So that's what I would look at. The space in this is massive. You can easily put a bicycle in here without any problem. You can sleep back there whenever you needed to. It does everything well. I am very surprised at that. So the couple things that I did talk about that bothered me was the screen here in the front, because it has this plastic over the face of it. When you get a lot of glare in there, sometimes you can't see, and sometimes it actually reflects into your face depending on where the sun is at. Not all the time. It just really has to be at the right angle for it to cause that problem. But you do get some glare on there at other times also. The ride has been very comfortable. The suspension is really, really good. It's nice and smooth. It takes the bumps without any problems, and your big bumps, it's nice and comfortable. Acceleration, oh yeah, it'll put you back in your seat just to get back up to speed. I've been driving this for a couple days and I got used to it very, very quickly. You know, I am still struggling with trying to get my seating position right to where I'm completely comfortable, but other than that, it feels great, easy to drive. No, this is not a cornering machine, so no huge driving dynamics here, but if you want to go off-road with this, you can very easily take this on some mild off-roading, maybe even mild to somewhat aggressive, but you know, you want to stay away from those really hard trails. This is probably not going to be the best for that, more because of its length, not because of the incapability of it, because it is very, very capable of going through most off-road courses. You just want to stay away from like the big boulders and stuff like that you're not going to be able to drive over. And like I said, this does kind of have 8.7 inches of clearance, so that is pretty good for a SUW, a sport utility wagon. But if you want even more, you can get the wilderness trim. Like I said, that takes you up to 9.5 inches of clearance. That's awesome. That is awesome. Then you can tackle some of those bigger rocks and bigger boulders if you choose to. Other than that, it's just a great car. It feels really good. It's really comfortable. Things are laid out pretty well. I think they need to bring the shifter back a little bit farther and make this opening here in the front easier to access, because if you're a normal human being with decent sized hands, it's hard. It's really hard to mess with anything if the shifter is in its place. Plus, it's just not a very big opening down there. So what surprised me about this car was this interior. I mean, it really looks nice in here. I could not believe that I got in here and I'm like, this is what a Subaru interior looks like. Now, I don't know if they've always looked this way, if they've always had decent interiors, but I know that we are in the top trim, and so you're gonna have some nicer materials and stuff in here than what you would off of the base model. But wow, even just the design in here looks really good. I am very impressed with that. If you guys have enjoyed this video, go ahead and click the subscribe button and then click on one of the videos that's on the screen right now. One I chose for you, the other one YouTube chose for you. I believe that you're going to enjoy them both. So have a blessed day, and I will see you in that next video.